Alright, y'all, Tommy G back with another video, man. Let's get into it. It's called Investigating Michigan's Most Aggressive Police Officer. Who's their most aggressive police officer? Who this guy?
Why do you think that throughout your career you have continued to be accused of excessive force?
I think I'm very proactive, and I think I'm involved in a lot more scenes and incidents.
Whoa.
If you are proactive and you're hardworking, you are going to get more complaints.
You're
gonna be tasered!
Oh my God.
He got me! He got me! He had me!
Sit down and shut the up! It's on video, retard. You're gonna lose your freedom because you get to go to jail today, mother.
I think his ego gets in the way of his own self, frankly.
Mr. Furman has made it known that his goal is to tow 1,000 cars a year.
Hey, we're looking to talk to the chief or someone. We're in an active investigation right now.
Okay, give me a second, okay?
Thank you. Excuse me, sir, could you come over here for a second? Protect and serve. That's the job of police officers that patrol our communities. And for the cops that do it right, this is a tough occupation that requires a lot of balls. But recently, through my TikTok algorithm, it's been brought to my attention that a Michigan police officer seems to be doing the exact opposite of protect and serve. This man's name is Matthew Furman, and some of Furman's arrest footage is so graphic that I'm concerned YouTube may not even let me show it to you. Currently, he is on paid leave for the back-to-back brutalizing of two citizens of Melvindale, a small town outside of Detroit with 12,000 people. This is a man that has a history of turning minor traffic stops into major beatdowns. He's been fired before, brought back, and even charged with assault, but for some reason he is still a police officer. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We get the inside scoop from police officers who spent years working with him, and what we'll be revealing to you is a litany of corruption charges, disturbing violence, and a scheme he has that entails towing an obscene amount of cars, buying those cars from the police auction, and then flipping them to make money, allegedly. So join us as we seek to bring justice and awareness to the city of Melvindale by exposing the practices of this police officer, who some say is only on the job because of the amount of revenue that he brings to the city. We'll investigate that and much more. Folks, I just wanted to talk to you before we get started on this video. In the past few weeks, we've gone after some really heavy-hitting people. We've gone after Kenneth Copeland, Scientology. We're doing multiple police and prison investigations. And what I'm doing is I'm recruiting you as part of the Army to help build this independent media channel. I'm opening up a Patreon tier called Big Dog Soldier. For just $7 a month, you can help support this independent media group. The link is in my description. Please consider joining. Let's take you up to speed on just a few incidents from Officer Furman's violent history on the job. In 2019, Furman was charged with assault and battery when he threw a man down a flight of stairs and claimed he fell. He got out of the assault charges by pleading guilty to a lesser crime. He once split a handcuffed man's head open on a police cruiser and claimed the guy did it to himself. But he did agree after the incident to attend anger management classes. You'll soon see the story of Jakar Williams, a man that Furman pulled over for a minor traffic violation and proceeded to tase over a dozen times, even with a partner on the scene that had it under control.
He has me! He has me!
Wow.
Before he initiated the first tase, it looks like that other officer already had him under control.
To get a fair read on Furman's actions, I wanted to get a police officer's opinion. So I visited Chief Rivera of the East Chicago Police Department to get his take on this situation.
You shouldn't be tasing nobody 10 times. At that point, you should be going hands-on. You let your emotion take over, your anger. You take things personal. When that person doesn't even know you, it's the uniform that they're really arguing with. The officer's taking something personal. When it's really, it's not.
And if it wasn't enough to tase your car in front of two small children, Furman also had to pull his girlfriend out of the car, telling her to
Sit down and shut the up!
The passenger really had nothing to do with that traffic stop. You know, of course she's visibly upset because what she sees happening to her baby daddy or husband, boyfriend, wherever he is to her. But how she was treated? No, absolutely not. You want to detain her? Yeah, you can do that nicely. Pull her out, detain her, but now you got kids there and they're witnessing all this, and how do you justify that? Just because she's recording you, she recorded your actions because she's being loud, angry. You have to be able to empathize. What if that was you? How do you expect your wife or girlfriend to act?
This out-of-control behavior prompted Melvindale's own mayor, Nikki Shakira, to say that Furman belongs behind a desk, and also revealed that at least one of Furman's colleagues would not respond to crime scenes with Furman because of the risk that it would go south.
My priority is doing whatever I have to do to go home. And if that means somebody gets tasered, then somebody's getting tasered.
Finally, Alicia Cook. This woman was in a parking lot waiting to pick her kid up from practice, and apparently she made Furman feel afraid for his life, so he tased her. And this is just a small sampling of stories that decorate Furman's record as a police officer. For reference, Furman was actually fired years ago over earlier allegations, but for reasons still unclear, he was brought back on the job. For today's story, guys, we owe a big shout out to Detroit news channel WXYZ7 and their correspondent Ross Jones, who have done a fantastic job reporting on the allegations against Officer Furman, as well as publications like the Detroit Free Press. Their Furman investigations have proved foundational in helping us build this story, and they are linked in the description. I appreciate you coming to meet with me. Tell me a little bit about your experience with Melvindale Police.
It started off really well. It was a fun place to work. It's a good place to learn.
What is Furman's rank right now?
He's a lieutenant there. He's been on paid leave for almost a year.
Is that unheard of?
In my experience, yes.
He's still getting paid.
Police can be used as revenue collectors for a city. Can you speak to that? This is Dan Adams. He's my friend and a bona fide criminal defense lawyer here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He's seen firsthand how cops like Furman are used to prey on citizens and taxpayers. Here's what he said.
I think it offends most people's feelings of fair play to have a police officer out collecting dues, as it were, from people just driving through their city. You know, maybe going a couple miles per hour over the speed limit, not seeing that their car could be towed for profit to balance the budget of this small municipality. It just flies in the face of what we know as Americans to be the proper role of police and the criminal justice system.
Matthew Furman is not a good police officer.
This is David Robinson. He served as a Detroit police officer for a few years before becoming an attorney. And he is the one representing Jakar Williams and Alicia Cook in a civil lawsuit against Matthew Furman and the police department.
I think his ego gets in the way of his own self, frankly.
What's your impression of Officer Matthew Furman?
I mean, this guy, Mr. Furman, he's stomping on people's legs as 5 or 6 other cops have them apprehended. It doesn't make any sense. He doesn't seem like he's trying to enforce law and order. It seems like he's enforcing his personal ego and causing chaos.
He seems like a guy that actually goes into a situation and escalates it massively.
Yes. I am really curious to see what the people and the residents of this area think about him, because it probably can't be good. And if they don't know about him, I mean, we should raise awareness and let people know what he's doing out here.
We appreciate good cops. Bad cops, though?
Yeah.
If the law of justice isn't gonna take you, YouTube will.
This is crazy.
Are you familiar with the story of Officer Matthew Furman?
Oh, yeah.
What have you heard?
He uses excessive force. He's pretty brutal.
As officers tried to subdue the man, a Dearborn officer's body cam caught Furman repeatedly stomping on the man's leg. As multiple officers look on.
Notice how the other officers here are completely calm. Like they know that the situation is already under control. And it's clear they knew Furman crossed the line, as one cop even warns him that the cameras are watching.
Cameras all around, guys.
But what's disturbing is no one steps in to stop the beatdown. And this highlights a bigger problem, which is some cops would rather cover for their buddy than protect the citizen they swore to serve.
Stomping on his legs. There's 5 cops already on him. Look at him stomping on his legs.
Bro, what? And then the other officer ain't doing nothing.
They say
Cameras all around. Oh.
They weren't mad that he was doing it. They were mad he was doing it on camera.
That's my first time seeing it. Plenty of officers there to control that person. He was already on the ground. People can't control one person on the ground, and you have to stomp him like that. No, this says more about your training than anything.
We just noticed a Melvindale police officer. How do we approach a police officer?
Probably on foot. Slowly.
We're gonna make ourselves very visible. I'm gonna wave and then hopefully he comes out. It might be tough for you to answer some of these questions, but are you familiar with Matthew Furman?
I just started working here not too long ago, so not really.
You can't say too much?
No.
I've heard rumors that other officers don't want to go on calls with him because they're afraid it's going to escalate.
This has been true for many years.
You do a very tough job, very difficult. You have to be brave to do what you do. Is it hard, if you're seeing a senior officer out of line, is it hard as a younger rookie cop to be like, hey, you can't really do that?
I'm a grown man, so if I see another grown man doing something wrong, I will tell him.
That's f***ed up. Somebody need to get him gone.
He should be fired, prosecuted, and jailed, probably.
I wish I could say that it shocked me. I wish that I could say that wasn't what I've come to expect. That's what I've come to expect.
I wouldn't feel safe around that.
Yeah, he needs some type of criminal activity done to him. That's not okay.
He said that he was doing that for pain compliance. Is that a typical police protocol?
Not at all. If you were doing the same thing as Furman did to that man on the ground, those police officers reacted, stopped you, and arrested you. Furman had been on a traffic assignment. He pulls over Mr. Williams, immediately becomes aggressive, hollering, raising his voice, and then ultimately tasing him. In drive-stun mode, all unjustified. Again, it's excessive, and it wasn't necessary.
He was already in the other officer's hand. There was no need to taser him.
Tasers are intended to be used as a defensive weapon. Unfortunately, for some time, there was a misconception within law enforcement that they could be used as instruments of compliance.
He couldn't even defend himself.
Do you think an officer like this should be allowed to work the streets?
No.
Do you have a message for the Melvindale Police Department?
I'll be calling in, reporting on y'all.
They're supposed to protect and serve, and that's inhumane. To fund them, to pay to fund everything that they're for, to pay to, to get them.
It's us, the taxpayers.
Exactly. He should be gone.
If you had a message to the mayor and chief of police about Matthew Furman, what would you say?
Get rid of him as soon as possible.
What I would like to see is accountability. It's as simple as that.
You've been fired and hired 3+ times.
Now we cover another key point of the Matthew Furman saga. We cover the story of Alicia Cook. Just a few months ago, in this very parking lot, she was waiting to pick her daughter up from cheerleading practice when Furman came into the parking lot.
In Melvindale Police Department, I'm a traffic enforcement officer. Hey, you're on a traffic stop. Don't tell me 1 second.
Hold on, sir.
I'm giving you a lawful police order. It's a public access parking lot.
He wanted me to think like that.
Lieutenant Furman demands Cook's driver's license, which she refuses to provide. Watch what happens next.
You have to
Out of the vehicle.
Lieutenant Furman draws his taser and fires.
You're gonna be tasered. Head out.
Furman says he used the taser because he was in fear of his life.
You made me afraid for my safety. I was terrified from you. You terrified me. You scared me. You scared me.
From a woman sitting down in a car with her kids in the back. Either this guy is such a big pussy that he truly was afraid for his life, or he used that as a way to use his power on this woman. Now, did she handle the situation the best? No, but an officer's job is to de-escalate and keep people safe. And when you hear the screams of terror of her kids watching their mom get brutalized by a cop, to me, it's just a disturbing and unbelievable scene to have to witness. Guys, I want to draw your attention to the movement you see in the back seat here. This is a child in a terrified frenzy as they watch their mom get tased during what should be a minor traffic stop. And for the parents out there, I want you to imagine your own kid having to witness something like this. From what you can see, does this guy have the temperament to be a police officer?
No, he shouldn't. Any agency that hires a person with that type of temper, you're setting yourself up for liability problems.
All right, folks, I'm here at a key landmark in this Matthew Furman story. We're here at Schaefer Road. Furman would park his police car and look for people that he could tow. And this brings us to another one of the major allegations against Officer Furman, that he uses towing and impounding as a weapon against Melvindale citizens in an effort to increase the revenue for the city of Melvindale. Just take it from a former colleague of his who has come out as a whistleblower. What is the inside scoop on the towing in Melvindale?
Mr. Furman has made it known that his goal is to tow 1,000 cars a year.
What is a typical officer doing a year?
That is crazy.
30 to 50 cars.
And he towed more cars than any police officer in Melvindale by far. So even the former police chief of Melvindale, Chad Hayes, said that Furman was an instrument of revenue collection for the city. And the reason guys like him are still employed is because the $1 million deficit in Melvindale, they try and get guys like Furman to make up by, you drive by, I'm gonna pull you over, I'm gonna look for a reason to tow your car, and that's that. What I want my police force in my city to do I want you looking for the killers. I want you looking for the rapists. I want you looking for the people that do things to children. I want you looking for serious shit. You're not on my tax dollar giving people tickets and towing their car for nonsense. These are people that need to go to work. They need to do deliveries. They need to make their life go around, and a car is a key thing. And for so many people struggling in today's economy, a $300 or $400 tow fee to get their car back, the time that they have to take off work, do they get fired? Does their boss get pissed? How do they find the extra $400? Maybe it was just the first of the month, they just paid rent. It's a huge economic stressor in a time when people are already stressed. Just down the road here is actually the tow truck company that Furman is in cahoots with. We're gonna pay them a visit. I get it. You wanna have a certain standard of where you live that's not infested with crime. On the other hand, the danger side of it is, like the lawyers that we talked to earlier were saying, there can be racial profiling, or there can be over-aggression. A lot of us have had these experiences where we are guilty from the beginning. I remember having an experience as a little kid. I was probably 16, I was walking my friend home from her work, and the police officer pulled over on the wrong side of the road, shining flashlights in our face, like, there's robbery suspects that match your profile. I wasn't robbing anything. It left me with a very nasty feeling of, what the hell was that? You're supposed to protect me and serve the community, but you're treating me like I'm a criminal without knowing anything. That's what people really detest about cops like Furman. They have this authority complex where, I'm the goddamn police, you listen to me, retard.
It's on video, retard.
And that's unacceptable. You want a cop that's gonna show up to the scene and be calm, be in charge, and de-escalate. So we're gonna talk to the people in this town and see what they think about Officer Furman. It seemed like there's multiple instances where he really loses his temper. He doesn't really keep his emotions in check on the job. Can you speak to that?
Well, you see it over and over again. Matthew Furman has been the subject of many lawsuits.
Do you know roughly how many lawsuits he's been involved in over his career?
3.
And for a police officer, is that typical, or does he definitely represent a higher amount?
He definitely represents a higher amount.
It's impossible to bring up Matthew Furman without mentioning his towing. According to this Detroit Free Press article, Furman was responsible for 80% of the tows done in Melvindale in 2015, towing up to 8 cars a day and making the city close to $500,000. We're here at the scene of Gotch & Sons, which the former police chief says is one of the key players in the Matthew Furman towing operation. Have you heard of Melvindale police officer Matthew Furman? He tows a lot of people in the city right here, and then he goes boating with the owner of this on the weekends, and people are like, come on, why is that happening in my car all the time? Allegedly. Have you heard anything like that?
No.
When you are paying tax dollars, and that's going to police that are being overly abusive to people and charging them with as many tickets as they can, what do you think about that as a citizen?
I think that's wrong.
You heard that right. Furman socializes regularly with Mike Gotch, the owner of this towing company, going to his Christmas party, going boating, going to baseball games, and even going to dinner at his house, leaving some to wonder how ethical this relationship truly is. There's a Melvindale police officer named Matthew Furman. Have you heard of him?
I have on TikTok. I just heard about what he did and like what happened with him.
Did you see any of his behavior, like the tasing, the stomping, or what he said to people?
I saw the tasing, but I didn't see the stomping or the...
Police officer tases someone 12 times. Do you think that's excessive?
That's actually very excessive. It sucks. So 12 times, like, that's just crazy.
How much is the tow fee here, do you know?
$5.75 cash.
$5.75 cash?
6% fee if you use card. They be cracking here. Don't come to Detroit.
Would you know that the citizens of Melvindale were paying half what they pay now when the previous vendor was towing cars?
They upped the rates on them?
Oh, significantly. And they gave the city a portion of that commission. Is that a conflict of interest, do you think?
It seems like there might be a little bit of a conflict of interest. And who loses out the most in that situation?
The citizen.
The taxpayers.
The taxpayers. Would you be surprised if you heard Mr. Mike Gotch, the founder of this company, was taking Furman and other officers out to Detroit Tiger games on his boat, kind of courting them before they even got a contract? Allegedly.
It's not funny because it's so messed up, but they're going on boating trips.
The average cop, guess how many cars do you think they tow a year in Melvindale?
A year? I would think like 40, 50?
Closer to 30.
30, okay, even less.
To go and try and do over 30 times that, and state that openly in the department with Mr. Matthew Furman, that is outrageous.
I mean, does he think he's being a public servant by towing more cars and taking more money out of people's pockets?
Well, when you put yourself in a circumstance where you want to meet a quota, you go out looking for ways to meet that quota. And so people on the margin, people on the bubble, people who may not deserve that type of treatment are going to get the bull's horns. Again, if you're looking for people who are jaywalking, we can find jaywalkers all day. If we want to find speeders, we can find speeders all day. But when you have a financial incentive behind that, turns the criminal justice system on its head, which is we're supposed to be protecting and serving people, making the community safer. But when you're just looking for revenue from different sources, you're going to misallocate your resources in criminal justice.
Depending on the locale, it can take anywhere from 30 to 90 days for your car to go from the impound lot to the police auction. This is one form of civil forfeiture where the government, even without convicting you of a crime, can sell off your seized property. And it's tough to get exact numbers on the scale of this, but one major player in the police auction world, Apple Auctioneering, proudly claims on their website that since 2010, they've facilitated the sale of over 70,000 vehicles, generating $380 million in revenue, all of which goes back to the police. Furman makes a lot of money for the city with the towing. What about for his ticketing?
With the tows comes tickets. You can't impound a vehicle without issuing some sort of citation because the impound has to come from some sort of traffic offense. With the traffic offense comes a ticket. With the ticket comes a fee, and the city gets part of that. He should lose his badge. He doesn't serve the citizens. He serves himself.
So we follow the breadcrumbs, and this is the lot where their cars get brought to, and guess what? If they can't pay it out of the other lot we just saw, they get stuck here to where the police auction happens right here.
Mr. Furman would buy the cars that he had impounded himself. He often would impound cars that would have no insurance, and often the subjects couldn't afford the insurance. So then when they couldn't afford to pay the impound fees, the car would go to auction for the city. Furman would then go bid on and purchase those cars and sell them for profit for himself. Wow. Goes further than that. It has since come out that he would break into the city impound lot and damage the vehicles by breaking a window or flattening a tire, pulling out the radio, so that way he could bid on them for a lower price and make more money.
Was also his girlfriend involved in this?
His girlfriend was the source of that information.
His ex-girlfriend?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me I'm a single mother, I get my car towed, I'm struggling to get it back. They will actually sell my car in the meantime if I can't come up with the funds.
Correct.
How long?
And then the city gets that money, and the tax, the police officer that you paid with your tax money gets to do that to you, yeah.
Wait, how long do I have to get the car back out of the impound lot?
That is something that we would have to investigate. I would guess 90 days. We have inside information that Matthew Furman actually comes to these auctions, bids on cars that he personally has had towed, he buys them, and then he flips them for a profit. Allegedly. Does that seem like that would be not allowed within the job description to do?
That is like super piece of shit territory. Yeah, that should be 100% illegal.
So I'm gonna meet Brandon here at this Melvindale Police Department, and we're gonna keep pursuing our investigation. Hey, we're looking to talk to the chief or someone. We're in an active investigation right now.
Okay, give me a second, okay?
Thank you. Excuse me, sir, could you come over here for a second? We're just in the middle of an active investigation. Have you seen one of your associates is known for potential criminal activity? We want to know if you guys have seen him.
Yeah, we got a few questions for you, sir.
Okay, in the meantime, it's just important you guys kind of comply with some of these questions. Matthew Furman, have you guys seen him? You're not really answering our questions directly. Are you withholding or hiding any information?
Would you mind stepping out here, sir, please? Oh, right there. Towed vehicles. And you know, there's nothing that makes me feel safer in my community than if my car gets towed.
Because we don't want the people that go to work on time or take their kids to soccer practice. That is a threat to security.
We're looking for our deputy chief.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We just went to the lab just a few minutes. You guys just missed me by.
Yeah, would you mind stepping out and speaking with us, sir?
We have an active investigation we'd like you to be compliant in.
Okay. What is this about?
A known associate of this department.
Are you here for Lieutenant Furman? Because if that's the case, I'll have to tell you that it is currently being investigated by an outside agency.
Yes, sir.
So it's kind of not in our hands.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be able to comment.
Absolutely. We have broader questions as well. Would you mind stepping out behind the glass, please?
I would rather not right now.
Well, we've actually submitted FOIA requests here and they've been blocked.
That's not something I look at. That's usually the chief, the deputy chief.
We've had a lot of trouble FOIA requesting this police department.
That's against the law.
Folks, it has been said that Matthew Furman has a mountain of citizen complaints and write-ups in his personnel file. The problem is we have encountered a blockage of our lawful FOIA request. You see, FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act, and it was passed in an effort to provide citizens with transparency in a timely fashion based on the idea that government transparency is essential for democracy. However, the city clerk of Melvindale doesn't seem to think so. They have a duty to provide the documents within 10 days of their request, and currently we are sitting at more than 30 days without receiving anything. In fact, they said that they can't provide us with documents because of an ongoing investigation, which leads me to this. Folks, it would be a shame for Melvindale if I happen to have a video linked in my description where my guy Keegan shows you in 2 minutes how to submit your own FOIA request. And perhaps once Melvindale sees an avalanche of requests, they might understand how serious we the people are taking the allegations against Officer Matthew Furman. We've had a lot of our FOIA requests blocked by the city of Melvindale, which isn't really legal. It's not legal at all. What do you think about that?
It's hard to say why they would do that. I don't know. The whole point of FOIA is to avoid that.
I have a question. If you were to pull someone over and tell them to put their hands on the hood of a vehicle, and then you were to tell them to put their hands behind their back, how long do they have before it's in your right to tase them between those commands?
That's all subjective, sir.
So it could be 1 second?
Like a straight up answer to that. That all depends on subject's behavior. Each situation is different.
You're not being very compliant with our questions.
I don't know if compliance is the right word here, because I am answering your question to the best of my abilities. And right now I am on duty. I have other things to attend to, so trying my best.
My impression is you seem like a good guy, fair guy. I don't know if you're cut from the same cloth as Furman. All of the questions I probably want to ask you, you probably can't answer on camera, right?
Right now, at this moment, because it is being investigated, I am not able to. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Some people wonder if more could have been done on the front end to prevent people like Furman from ever becoming a police officer, and surprisingly, the answer is yes. You see, we uncovered documents that show Furman was arrested in 2004 for soliciting a prostitute, and we have inside information from the man that hired him that Furman did not disclose this in his background questionnaire. Something that if he was honest about during the hiring process, he would have never been made a police officer in the first place. There's rumor that the ex-police chief, Chad Hayes, was forced out instead of firing Furman. Is that accurate, you think?
I know that that's accurate. When Mr. Furman screwed up numerous times, Chief Hayes was seeking Mr. Furman's termination from the department. Chief Hayes was going through the proper channels, the proper procedures through the department, and had suspended Furman to lead up to a hearing for his termination. In that time, the tows dropped drastically. The city used public funds to hire an outside investigator to investigate the department because of the lack of tows coming in. Multiple officers tried telling the city not to waste the taxpayers' money on that investigation. Everyone at the department could tell them in one sentence why the tows were down. Furman wasn't working. While Mr. Furman was suspended, the city council moved to fire Chief Hayes. At that point, it was clear to everyone that it was either Furman or Hayes that was going to go.
We just talked a little off camera to that lieutenant, I believe, he had the stripes. Seems like a good guy. Yeah. And we said, we're sure you're a good guy, and we know that he can't answer a lot of what we're asking him. It's a tough situation because he probably doesn't like Furman either, honestly.
And I'm sure his position, he's not really like his job to fire the guy or get him in trouble. He probably can't do anything about it.
Right now, for us, he was a piñata that honestly probably didn't deserve the beating we were trying to give him.
Yeah.
Would you guess that if we had full access to Furman's body cam, that what we've seen on the news is just the tip of the iceberg?
Yes.
Does he regularly brutalize people?
To some extent, yes. He's verbally abusive often.
He currently has 2 pending lawsuits. He has been fired previously in 2019. He's been charged with assault while on the job. Do you think this will be enough to finally end his career?
It should end his career. The administration hasn't done what the administration should do to get rid of him. Bottom line.
If you follow what the police are saying, things should go okay. And I think most of the news stories we hear about are when people don't listen and they escalate, and then the police escalate and then it turns really bad. What if you are dealing with a police officer that cannot control his temper, and you're in it feels like a life or death situation? If you're getting tased 12 times, your flight or fight's gonna be triggered. If your legs are getting stopped to the point where you think your bones might break, that's a life or death situation.
Yeah.
And your only option is to further submit and hope it stops rather than get up and fight. That would be a terrifying position to be in.
Once your trust of the police is shattered, how can they even regain it at that point? You know what I mean?
Because it's like a person that's been broken up with a crazy girl. Like, it kind of, the future relationships are much harder to have because that one person ruined what you think is a normal relationship.
It traumatizes you.
A bad officer like Furman did a lot of damage to your reputation. There could be 9 really good cops out on the field, and if there's one guy like Furman, people generalize and stereotype the rest of the force as dirty.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
You make us look bad. You make our job harder. You make the citizens not trust us. And the truth is, there's bad officers everywhere. Whether it just be through the end of their career or whatever the reason may be. But when you are able to identify one, the answer should be simple. I don't believe I'll ever have the answers as to why he is still employed. Part of me doesn't want to know because, as I stated earlier, I think it would make me sick.
Matthew Furman, I will give you the same offer that I gave Lewis Lacey in Dalton, Illinois, which is you can meet me at any MMA gym in Wisconsin or Michigan or Illinois of your choice. I will give you $5,000 if you show up. If you win the fight, you keep the $5,000. If I win the fight, free. So no risk situation for you except for what I would do to you physically, which would be more immense than you've ever experienced in your life. You're used to beating up people in handcuffs. You're used to tasing moms that are sitting in the car. How about you fucking step up like a real man? You are a little pussy. You are a little bully. And I know in a million years you would never accept a cage fight with me. Fuck you. I've been joined in this investigation by my dear friend Brian Buckingham. Click his link in description, blow him up, look through all his stuff. He has very bingeable content. One of the best guys in the game. And my dear pal. Love you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Dude, you're doing a really great service with this video. I think that this guy needs to be fired.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Matthew Furman, don't be a bitch. Take me up on my offer. Peace. As Furman's career remains in limbo and taxpayers continue to foot the bill of keeping him on paid leave that has stretched for over a year now, we conclude this episode by posing a question to the people responsible for keeping Furman on the force: Melvindale City Council, the Mayor Nikki Scry, and City Attorney Larry Coogan. How many more citizens need to be brutalized before you make the choice to prioritize people over revenue? And with the expensive lawsuits piling up around Furman, one that Melvindale's taxpayers will have to foot the bill on, isn't this guy much more of a liability than an asset on the balance sheet? Folks, work your magic with the FOIA requests. We appreciate you joining, and we'll see you next week.
Tommy with another great video bringing awareness, but nah, this is actually crazy. This is crazy. It's crazy that there's really, we know, like he said, there's bad cops everywhere, but this is crazy. Like, the city backing him, knowing what he doing, still got him on paid leave. Like, what, bro? Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.